Hello, I'm Mary and I watch too many movies. um, Ignore background noise. There is rain coming over there very loudly. There are dogs. I've tried to quieten them down by giving them treats and it's made them noisier. um, I have recently been checking out some movies on Tubi in the UK. I didn't even know about this website until quite recently, which is madness. Um, so, and a bit ridiculous, I know, but I, in my defense, haven't been living in England for a while. So, Tubi is free to sign up for. You do get adverts. The adverts they do come at kind of annoying times sometimes, but they're short and they're not. I grew up watching movies on television. I'm old, so doesn't make too much of a difference to me personally. Some people I know aren't keen on that, but the fact that these movies are free, I don't know. There's some good shit on Tubi. They've got Hellraiser. They have Drag Me to Hell. Sam Raimi's Drag Me to Hell. They have It Follows. Well, so they've got like the 1920s Nosferatu, which is cool. And I think they also have Hush, Mike Flanagan's Hush. So they've got some decent movies on there. And they've also got some real shit. Some really bad movies. And then they've got some hidden gems, we'll say. And I'm going to talk about 5 hidden gems that I found recently. The first one I want to talk about is Dreamscape, which is possibly a movie that isn't as hidden of a gem as I think it is. But it's a hidden gem for me. Dreamscape, 1984, Dennis Quaid, baby Dennis Quaid. I was meant to go to a film festival that was quite near me a couple of months ago. They were showing 80s horror movies. I was working the entire time. I'm still upset about that. It's a sore spot. Next time that rolls around, we're obviously going to be booking some time off. I need to know about it in advance. I should have called in sick. I really should have, just so I could have gone to that. It was quite expensive though, and I'm quite broke. So Dreamscape, I was intrigued by the premise. I really wanted to see this then. And when I found it was on Tubi, it was one of the first things that I clicked play on. Because, yeah, go in as blind as you can. And I recommend if you do want to watch this, do not look at the IMDb page because the hypnosis completely ruins it. This completely spoils it. So the letterbox hypnosis is, am I even saying that right? I don't think I've ever said that word out loud. I've only ever read it. Letterbox says, in order to diagnose the psychic traumas suffered by his patients, Dr. Paul Novotny gets young Alex Gardner, which is Dennis Quaid's character, to enter their dreams. Fun! So that's all you need to know. It is a science fiction horror adventure film. It is very 80s. It's very fun. The dream sequences are awesome. I got excited every time we went into a dream. I get easily excited, but it was fun. It genuinely got frightening towards the end. I thought the horror bit was kind of done, and I was like, oh, that was creepy. And then it escalated. But it was not too much. I don't think this was terrifying by any means. It hasn't kept me up at night. It is one that I think you could watch with younger viewers or with people that aren't necessarily into horror. Yeah, there's nothing terrifying. But yeah, I would recommend this if you just want something a little off the wall, a little bit weird, a little bit fun. Fun fact as well is this was released a month after The Nightmare on Elm Street was released, which means 1984 was really a year for movies about nightmares. Interesting. My second movie that I want to talk about is, oh, this is a gem. In my opinion, this is a gem. This is Blood-Sucking Bastards from 2015. This, I was so happy. I got recommended this. I didn't actually seek it out. It was recommended. It was kind of like, do you want to watch this next? After another movie that I'll mention later. And I was like, oh, yeah, I'll check it out. And then I realised that Fran Kranz is in it. And Pedro Pascal, everyone's favourite man. And it's, it predates when he was in absolutely everything in the entire world. So he's still relatively new to the scene. Maybe a year or two after Game of Thrones, I'd say. He's great in this, of course he is. So is Fran Kranz is like the main character. I always love seeing him. I think he's always got good presence on screen. He's always fun. I loved him since Dollhouse, man. And this movie is so fun. It's fun, it's silly, it's deadpan. It's like the humor is my humor because it's just deadpan, silly humor. I like silly humor. There is a cameo in this as well that made me go, ooh, and I think will make any horror fan go, ooh. Very, 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 very short cameo, like less than a minute, but it was great. We liked it. The romance in this is sweet. The characters are fun. You care about the characters. They have their own like distinct personalities and things going on. There's a good little build up to when shit starts going down. I honestly would I'd say this is like if Edgar Wright decided that they were going to do another Cornetto trilogy movie, obviously making it a Cornetto after a trilogy. It's a franchise, really, isn't it? If they were going to make it a franchise and he decided that he would like to go on a vampire route, because it was very, if Shaun of the Dead was vampires. The humor was there, which is funny because it's an American movie, but it had that humor. And if that sounds appealing, check it out. And also, if you like the sound of the cast, it's I thoroughly enjoyed this movie. I'm not giving much away about this at all, am I? I didn't give much away about the other one either. But it's bloody, it's gory, it's vampires in an office environment, and it's very fun. I think I've said that 100 times now. Do you think it might be fun? My next movie, funnily enough, now that I'm thinking about it, is kind of similar. I want to talk about Mayhem from 2017. Yeah, I didn't think about how similar this was when I watched it, but this is the movie that when I finished, I got recommended Blood-Sucking Bastards. So the algorithm is on to something there. So this is if a virus was to take over. 2017, so we were pre the virus, and it takes away people's inhibitions and makes them act on all of their impulses, so like their rage and their sexual desires and just anything that they have an impulse to do, those things that you hold back on just come out full force. Stephen Yeun and Samara Weaving, beautiful people, both beautiful people, and very badass in this movie. Both of them very badass, very funny. I'm sad that this movie didn't get bigger, because I think both of them actually would have been like a little bit more thrown into the horror sphere earlier than they were. Although I don't know how long this predates things like Babysitter and Ready or Not. But, true Scream Queen. Not even a Scream Queen, because she's usually the one that's running things, isn't she? So, does that count as a Scream Queen? So I feel like Scream Queens are usually the final girls. Which I guess she also usually is. And Stephen Yuen is just a gorgeous man and very amazing in this. Just very amazing. I thoroughly enjoyed this. Um, it's bloody, it's funny, it's a little zombie-esque. Um, there's also another actor in it that's from The Walking Dead. Um, I really, that show feels like a lifetime ago, but I did recognize him. He was also in The Walking Dead, and he's very good. Um, they're letting out all their anger and frustration in this workplace situation, similar to before, letting out their anger at work. It's relatable if you've had any kind of job where you're working in an office and they're both very angry. The main lead characters are both very angry people, and rightly so, because what they're going through is not good. Yeah, if you want a super violent action horror that will make you laugh and might also get you a little choked up, because brilliant performances from my leads that at times do get a little emotional, then Mayhem. We are running on a theme, and I didn't realise. Chopping Mall from 1986. This time, it's unintentional, I swear. This time we're trapped in a shopping mall. Surprisingly, I don't know if you got that from the title. I don't know if that was obvious, maybe. It's 1986. This is the era of slashers. Slashers are huge. They are churning them out for the video stores. This is one of the most 80s movies I've ever seen. It was fantastic. So many boobies, so many, so much synth music, fun 80s synth music. It's just one of those amazing 80s B horrors that I love. The opening sequence alone is just so good. This is a movie Eddie Munson rented from the video store and made Mike and Dustin watch, and Mike hated it. I don't know why that came into my head. Just Eddie Munson watched this movie and he loved it. They all did. Maybe the whole shopping mall thing was in bad taste, actually. I mean, it's 1986. I think that's just after shit goes down in Hawkins. Okay, anyway. Security robots at a shopping mall malfunction while some of the employees are throwing a party at the shopping mall for some reason. And there's a scene where I think it's like 4 couples. 3 of them at one point are having sex, like in the same room. It's unnecessary, but whatever. or shop. Was it a room or a shop? I guess it's a shop. I don't know who. I might have not been paying attention when they came up with the party idea, but I don't know who throws parties in shopping malls or throws parties in your workplace. Not important. The point is they're locked in the shopping mall overnight with killer robots. That's what's important. This is R-rated Doctor Who episode. It is. It's Daleks malfunctioning and killing what I think are meant to be like young adults. They're probably all about 30. The music is phenomenal. The characters are actually, for what this is and what you expect it to be, they're quite well rounded. You've got the different personalities. You're kind of rooting for some of them more than others, but none, like, I don't know, I found myself rooting for them. My favourite characters were the couple at the very beginning when they are presenting the robots that just sat in the audience making snide comments about the robots. You don't see them again, but they were my favourites. So yeah, recommend Chopping Mall if you want 80s B horror, because that's what you're getting, and it's very fun. There's some badass moments. I'm saving what I guess is the newest movie, and also one that I was pleasantly surprised by, to my last. I'm saving it to my last. I'm saving it for the last one that I will talk about. Sissy from 2022. Wasn't that long ago. This is an Australian film. They are usually coming out with some good shit. Yeah. They're ones to watch, the writer and director duo for this one. Ones to watch, I think. I didn't know what to expect from this, and then I saw someone on Reddit say, watch it if you are a fan of Spree and Bodies, Bodies, Bodies. I think slightly controversial movies. I don't know how controversial. I love both those movies to death. To death is they're both kind of slasher movies. I love Spree. I mean, I'm a huge fan of Joe Keery, so that helps. With, but I also loved Bodies, Bodies, Bodies. I thought they were both really fun movies, and I can definitely like that helped me to decide to watch this movie, and also I can see why people would relate them. There is a commentary on social media and influencers and how far you'd go to portray a certain version of yourself to the world and what it means. And there's also, they're at a party and people are dying. Hope that's not spoilers for any of the movies mentioned. I made a note when I was watching this that this is if the movie Bridesmaids got really, really ugly. It already gets quite ugly. That movie does get quite ugly, but this is if it gets murderously ugly. If Kirsten Wiig's character just started brutally murdering everyone at the hen party. Yes. And if it got gayer as well, if Bridesmaids got a lot gayer, because this, I don't think this is a spoiler, but the people getting married are two women, and that's cool. We like that. Good. Just good movie. I enjoyed this. It gives you where am I with a little bit. You've got this girl who is just, she's trying so hard to just bottle up how she feels, and then she explodes. And I know a lot of people, from what I've seen, have said that the build up takes a bit of a long time to get into the horror aspect of it, the slasher aspect. But I think that's necessary because you're building up, she's building and building up to pressure point. And so are you, in a way. You're watching all of this shit happen and you're kind of getting angry too. Or I was anyway, I don't know. I liked these characters a lot. I was at the point I didn't want any of them to die. I was like, no, just yelling at the screen at moments. I think that makes a good slasher as well. Or I don't even know if I would class it as a slasher, but a good movie like this, when you can be some of the characters were kind of bitchy and not very nice, but you liked them. Not that you would be best friends with them or anything, but they were good characters. And I didn't want any of them to die. One of the guys, well, actually I think he's pretty much the only guy in the movie. The guy has some really good background dialogue, and I'll have to look this up, but I wouldn't be surprised if that was mostly ad-libbed, because it sounds like it's ad-libbed, the way that the things that he says, and it's so natural, and so how you would talk to your friends when you're in this kind of situation. The dialogue and just everything felt very realistic to how people communicate. And that's good, because there's a lot of movies where people start talking and you're like, no, people don't talk like that. And that's not the case here. Yeah, I think great movie. Definitely a good one to stick on if you're doing any kind of Halloweeny party with the girls and the gays. If there are some people that aren't keen on gore, though, there are a couple of scenes in this. One involving an animal, but nothing horrendous happens to the animal, but it's not like someone is intentionally hurting an animal. Yeah. Um, but, you know, there are some gory scenes. So as long as you've got a bunch of friends who aren't too fussed about that, it's a fun one to put on and chill with. But also if you want something that's dark and a bit different and funny, dark humor, dark comedy, and maybe gives you a good thing to think about ish. If you want to think about how, you know, influencers sometimes aren't who they say they are, but I think we all know that. So that's what I've been watching on Tubi. I was going to say this week on Tubi, but I'm recording this on Wednesday and I haven't watched 5 movies already on Wednesday. I do have other things to do, unfortunately. I will be doing another roundup later though, because there is a bunch in my watch list, including some classics, I'd say, like Pumpkinhead, Massacre Slumber Party, Slumber Party Massacre. We got there. And then some lesser known gems. Say it again. So yeah, I'm gonna head off now because I've got more movies to watch. Catch you later. Thank you and have a nice day.